Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Brave Briefings, the place where brave men and women come and share their tips, their ideas, their views on how we can live a safer world, a world devoid of harassment and sexual and gender-based violence, a world of peace. Are you brave? Hi, I am Lois, your friend for forgiveness from Walking Without Skin. And today I have a brave woman with me, and I'd love to welcome Dee. Hi, Dee.
Hi, Lois. Yes, I am Dee Rao, and I'm a life coach, and I work with women who are pursuing a career, and when they find it hard to align their business and or professional and personal goals, and sometimes it's about the decisions we make in life, and then it's all about being happy with our choices and how you align the choices you've made and the priorities that you have for yourself and get that inner peace so that you can also achieve your professional goals along with your personal goals. So this is what I do. And I'm happy to talk about this lovely initiative of yours, Brave, because I think it is so relevant. And a lot of women that I speak to these days also have been there sometime or the other. And I have found myself in such situations. And so it's very close to my heart as well. And would be just happy to talk about it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It really is appreciated. And the fact that you work with so many women, I'm sure you've got lots of tips and ideas to share with us. So, thank you. So, how can we be brave? What should we be doing to teach the people around us to be brave?
Mhm. I would like to particularly talk about, the A aspect in your brave journey, which is about agreement and ask. And I have seen that a lot of women sometimes get stuck in this loop where they don't know how to say no. And they, so whether it could happen, at a workplace with a superior, it could happen with peers, it could happen even when you're married and with your husband. And what happens is that sometimes some people, because of their authority, they would like you to do something which is probably against your own values or your wishes, and you just don't know how to say no, because when that happens, you're too much in shock, and you're just not able to get your voice. So I personally feel that when this happens, the other party often thinks that it is consensual, and after being there, sometimes we also can think that that we consented to the whole harassment or abuse sometimes. And it is just so wrong for us sometimes. Not wrong really, but it's it's difficult, for a lot of women to realize that what happened was not right. It was against their wishes. It was not consensual, and it's okay to say no. Because if you don't say no at that right time, it just keeps going on and on and on, because you just get stuck.
It's so important as well that
Mhm.
we realize that no is not being silent or saying the words no. It's actually an enthusiastic yes. We've got to hear the word yes as consent.
Absolutely. And I so agree with you on this, because when that, happens, and, you keep falling in that loop, that enthusiasm, it was never there. And then you start feeling abused, and the other party thinks that it's okay. And while, the world is getting more open, and as mothers, because I have a daughter, right? So, and when she grows up or is that age, I want to have that conversation with her. And it's just not about, um, being, what about sexuality is, and what happens, but I also want to tell her all these specific instances that when you go out there in the world, when you find a job, or when you get married, or you find a partner, uh, that it's okay to say no, because these are the red flags. And I am there to support you, because I don't think my parents had that chat with me. Or maybe let's just say it's also a cultural thing, because I'm from India, and parents don't really like to have this conversation. So I think it's so important that as mothers, we have this conversation with our daughters. And if, um, as a woman, working, and you see somebody is going through it, and it's so important to support, because it's not that they are giving sexual favors for a promotion. Sometimes it is just the other people taking advantage of the other person. And that support and that openness is so important, because a lot of times we blame ourselves for it, then we feel guilt, and then we feel so ashamed to talk about it, that we never open up or share and discuss all of the things that are happening to us. And it then just becomes a stigma, and you get, sometimes even get labeled with certain tags. And then it just takes you more downhill, and doesn't really take you and support you and uplift you, and help you learn. So I think for me, the most important tip is that, first, to be able to say no, and it's okay to say no. Second, as a mother, to be able to talk to your daughters about it, and exactly what happens, so that they're prepared for it and they're ready to say no when that happens. And as a working woman, to be able to support the women I see falling into that trap, or in that situation, and not able to get out. It's just so important.
That is so true. But now my question is, we're talking about asking. How do we teach the boy or the person to actually ask? How do we get that agreement? How do we have that conversation? You're in the passionate moment, you both
Mhm.
enjoying yourself. Now you're going to stop that passion. You're going to say, hey, do you
Mhm.
want this? So that is a dilemma that most people are going to face. How do we actually
Mhm.
get that agreement? Do we have that conversation? When do we have that conversation? And what do we
Mhm.
say?
I think, when you said that, no matter how passionate you are, and, just have, this conversation, and just say it, just say it. Do you want to, engage in an intimate activity? So, and I have this, I'm married, and I have, and, it's a part of the marriage. And I really appreciate my husband for doing this, because he will ask me every single time, and bluntly, and I really so appreciate that. And um and when sometimes, you can be not in a mood sometimes, and you can just say, maybe not today, and he's okay with that. And you have to learn to be okay with that, and I do that as well. So, sometimes I might be approaching, and he'll be like, oh, not in the mood today, and I'm like, okay, another day. Yeah. And it is
Yeah.
okay. So once we realize that it is okay, and the relationship is not based on sex, it is based on love and understanding, then I think these things come naturally. And I think also it's, you can pick the vibe, whether a man or a woman, you can pick the vibe. When the other person is interested really or not interested. So don't let that intuition, um, don't suppress that intuition. Listen to yourself, and then listen to what the other person's body is saying, and just go with that. Don't suppress it because you're so passionate and so much in the moment. Maybe it's hard, but I think it's all about practice, and then giving the other person respect, because it's respect at the end of the day for the other person's wishes. And I have a 5-year-old boy as well, and I don't know how I'm gonna have that conversation with him when he's older, but I think it's important.
I think we can start teaching people, your little boy from 5, that it's about asking for anything. It's getting permission. It's getting the consent. Can I play with your toys? Can I have it? Can I share your ice cream? Whatever it is, it's getting that consent right at the beginning, teaching them
Yeah.
and to listen and watch out for the verbal and non-verbal responses. So I think we should be starting with your 5-year-old.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I never thought, I think that five, I mean, I always thought that 5 is young. Obviously, we tell them that, please ask, just don't take things, whether it is from this. But I think if I have that at the back of my mind, I think I'll be even more conscious about it, that it's not okay to just take because tomorrow it's going to affect another woman's life. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for that. It's just so insightful.
So as you said, it's about listening and having the
Mm,
intuition to look for the response, to see what that response is. People may be pressurized into saying yes, even
mm.
though they don't want to say yes. It's my ice cream. I don't want you to have any of it, but because you asked, I'll give you some. And there's a reluctance. So it's a
Absolutely.
recognizing those reluctances as well. I would love your husband to come and share how he feels when you say you're not in the mood.
Well, I think we've been married for 10 years, and I would know when he gets angry. So he's pretty positive. He's pretty chilled out about that. And I think it also comes because he asked me as well. So he knows, what it feels like. So I think he has that understanding. But yeah, I would love to hear what he has to say as well at some point.
Okay, well, there's a lot there in what you've shared with us, Dee. Thank you. I really think this is such an important issue because communication is not fully understood. People
Yeah.
talk and they don't always listen, and we need to
Yeah.
get that listening aspect of the agreement in place, starting with 5-year-olds.
Yes, starting with 5-year-old. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I
Well,
think I learned something today.
so thank you very much for joining us. And viewers, you too can be brave. You can help us stop the scourge, stop the silent pandemic that is hurting so many people. You can contact Dee, we'll put her details below the video, or you can contact me at Walking Without Skin. So do join us, be bold, be brave, and fly free. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks, everybody. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Brave Briefings. Bye.